Have you ever had the problem of sleeping in one position rather than another? Some people sleep on their stomachs, some on their right side and some on their left side. Then there are those who love to do it curled up in a fetal position and those on their stomach. And again, there are those who love wearing pajamas and those who don't. There are those who love having blankets on and those, however, who want to feel free. Well, if you are among those who have never asked themselves the problem, thanks to the Zen story that follows, you will discover what happens if you sleep on your left side. So, stay until the end, because what you will hear will leave you breathless and will make you seriously reconsider the way you are used to sleeping. But before continuing, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you are informed when we publish new content. In a quiet Buddhist monastery located among the mountains of Japan, immersed in the serenity of the gardens, the elderly and wise monk Shinzo decided to dedicate a special evening to sharing profound truths about the way we are used to sleeping. The moon, bright and round in the night sky, seemed to bless the atmosphere of contemplation that spread among the devoted disciples gathered in the main hall. Shinzo, sitting on a tatami, began to speak in a calm voice, as if his words were a light breeze that caressed the minds of those who listened to him. Today, dear disciples, we will see why sleeping on your left side is the best thing you can do for your physical health and emotional well-being, the monk began. We will explore together the profound connections between the practice of left-sided sleep, the benefits for our body and spiritual awakening. Finally, you will understand why Buddhist monks have been sleeping on their left side for centuries. While the disciples were increasingly fascinated and intrigued by the topic, Shinzo continued his speech. In the ancient Eastern tradition, the connection between the body, the mind, and the spirit was an essential part of the path to wisdom and balance. And sleeping on the left side has always been of great importance. This choice is not random, but reflects a profound understanding of the physiological and spiritual principles that guide the practice of sleep. The first advantage of sleeping on the left side, said the monk, is to achieve optimal lymphatic drainage. Lymph flows through our body, and it is important that it does so like a quiet river that flows gracefully through the earth. You should know that the left side of our body is the guardian of this vital flow because it carries with it a load of proteins, glucose, and other substances. Sleeping on this side is like offering a clear path to the river, allowing our body to rid itself of toxins, a bit like a river carries the dry leaves of drifting trees. With a benevolent look, Shinzo turned to his disciples, masterfully narrating the second gift. The stomach and the pancreas are a bit like the deities of our internal temple, said Shinzo. When we lie on our left side, we create a sacred space for the dance of these two organs, which cause gastric juices to move with the grace of dancers in a theatrical performance. You see, sleeping like this isn't just a physical act, it's an invitation to an internal celebration, a silent celebration of enzymes preparing our body for a new day. The monk, happy to see the disciples so interested in his words, continued talking about the third gift deriving from sleeping on the left side, purification, a true nocturnal ritual. Resting on your left side, he said, facilitates the flow of digestive waste, like a stream flowing through fertile soil. The intestine becomes the garden where nutrients are deposited, and in the morning, our body prepares for an elimination ceremony, a daily rebirth. Under the soft light that filled the room, Shinzo elaborated on another benefit of sleeping on the left side, talking about the love of the heart. Our heart is the ruler of our body, he said with a smile. By sleeping on the left side, we offer the heart a perfect backdrop for its work. The aorta, its messenger, starts in a majestic arch towards the left side, like a traveler crossing a bridge, making the journey easier and the blood flow more harmonious. The monk stood up slightly as if dancing along with his tails and continued with the fifth gift. And now, let's talk about the spleen, the devoted handmaiden. This hidden organ, guardian of our life force, finds peace when we lie on our left side. Bodily fluids become messengers of this peace, making their way to the spleen like pilgrims arriving at a secret sanctuary, nourishing and invigorating.
And how have you slept until today? Write it in the comments and let's discuss the topic. In the meantime, if you're enjoying the video, leave a like and share it. You will help us produce new content every day for your spiritual growth.
With a deep gaze, Shinzo introduced the sixth gift with a touch of poetry. Like nature following the course of the river, sleeping on the left side is an act of connection with gravity, the silent master who guides our journey night. The force of gravity becomes the guardian of the pathways of our lymphatic drainage, a silent companion that accompanies our body through its purification ritual. In resting on the left side, the master continued, we also find balance between body and mind. Sleeping on the left side is not just an act of comfort for the internal organs and for our body in general. Ancient Oriental wisdom teaches us that this way of resting enriches our health and our connection with the internal and external world. It is a true hymn to life, which reveals itself in the dreams and quiet of the left side. Sleeping in this way then is not just a rest for the body, but an opportunity for inner awakening and spiritual awakening. While the world lies in deep sleep, we, as practitioners of left-sided conscious sleep, we immerse ourselves in the depths of being. It is a sacred moment in which the mind frees itself from the chains of everyday thought, opening subtle doors to universal awareness. Shinzo, still smiling at his disciples, explained the concept of the balance between yin and yang in sleep. The left side, in its more yin nature, envelops us like an embrace of the night. The quiet that arises from this practice is a gift, an offering to our inner essence. Through concrete examples, Shinzo told of nights in which the monks, immersed in the practice of conscious sleep on the left side, felt the energy flow like a calm river crossing their being. The vital energies, in harmony with nature, dance while the body rests, creating a harmony that resonates in the entire monastery. The benefits of this practice, therefore, go far beyond the physical aspect, involving the spiritual one. Delving deeper into the analysis of the physical benefits, Shinzo told of elderly monks who, by embracing this practice, had experienced greater flexibility and strength in their meditation practice. Sleeping on the left side thus becomes a perfect complement to the search for enlightenment, preparing the ground for the mind and body. The monk, between one story and another, underlined the importance of bringing this awareness into everyday life, making it a healthy habit to never give up. It is not only in the quiet of the monastery that we can cultivate this practice, he underlined. Let us bring it with us into our homes, honoring our body as a temple in which the sacredness of the night resides. Shinzo, focusing on the sounds of the cicadas and the river that could be heard around the monastery, added, nature itself teaches us the importance of aligning our sleep with the flow of the world. The left side, like a leaf cradled by the wind, connects us to this eternal dance. As his disciples listened with great interest, Shinzo shared other important benefits of sleeping on the left side. Sleeping on this side, he said, facilitates breathing, creating a harmonious synergy between the flow of air and the beating of the heart. When you lie on your left side, your trachea and esophagus take on a more natural and straight position relative to your spine. This alignment facilitates the passage of air through the trachea and towards the lungs, facilitating freer breathing. Additionally, the diaphragm, the main muscle involved in breathing, is located under the lungs, Sleeping on your left side allows your diaphragm to move more freely, promoting deep, smooth breathing. And the location of the heart on the left side of the chest is another key element. Sleeping on this side, in fact, reduces pressure on the heart and allows better blood circulation. Sleeping on your left side can help prevent acid reflux as well. With this position, the stomach sits lower than the esophagus, reducing the risk of gastric juices backing up into the esophagus. And then, added shinzo. Sleeping like this offers natural support to the spine, maintaining optimal alignment for a tension-free awakening. Have you ever noticed, asked the monk, that the spine has a natural S-shaped curvature? When lying on your left side, this position better reflects the natural anatomical curvature of your spine, minimizing stress on your discs and joints. Remember, said the monk, that sleeping on your left side is not only a way to make your body rest better, but becomes a path to awareness and spiritual growth. Just as Buddhist monks, being aware of the interconnection between body and mind, have always adopted the left side as the privileged position for sleep, you too should get used to doing so. This way, both your body and your mind will feel better. Have you ever heard of the meaning of the number 888 and its spiritual importance? For many, it is an angelic number, a portal to luck and prosperity. The certain thing is that for all religions, this number has links with spirituality and with the divine that is in each of us. And it is said that if you write the number 888 on a sheet of paper and put it under your pillow, you can transform your life. By doing so, in fact, you will be able to attract prosperity, serenity, and inner peace. But how are things really? Make yourself comfortable and stay until the end of the video, because at the end of this Zen story you will find an answer to this fascinating mystery. And also, you will learn about the power of the number 888 and how to use it to attract what you want into your life. But before continuing, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way, you will be notified when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. The sun sank lazily on the horizon, painting the sky with fiery shades that danced on the rocks like tongues of fire. The elderly and wise monk, Kato, is about to reveal something unique to his disciples. Around the crackling fire, Kaido's disciples anxiously awaited the words of the Buddhist monk. They knew that, once again, their mentor would amaze them with extraordinary revelations. Kaido, with his calm and persuasive voice, began to narrate an ancient story, one of those capable of opening the mind and leaving a profound mark in the hearts of each of them. In the mists of time began the monk. A mystical number emerged from the depths of the universe, 888. Since then, its energy permeates creation, bringing abundance, prosperity, and balance. Like a rushing river that fuels life, this number brings with it the promise of a bright future, a future full of joy and fulfillment. The monk bent down, picking up a small sheet of snow-white paper. With precise and delicate gestures, he traced the number 888 in golden ink. His calligraphy, as fluid as a mountain waterfall pouring down the valley, seemed to leave a mark in the minds of the disciples. This symbol, he explained in a soft voice, contains an ancestral force capable of attracting positivity into your life like a magnet attracts iron. Think of this number as a talisman that brings good luck, a bridge that connects heaven and earth, a portal that will lead you to a world of wonders. The disciples listened in silence, enraptured by the Master's words. Their eyes shone with curiosity and hope, like stars lighting up in the night sky. 888 is more than just a number, Kato continued, his voice vibrant with wisdom. It is a key that opens the door to the unlimited potential of the universe. and consequently, if we know how to interpret certain messages well, to the unlimited potential that lies within each of us. Like a magical portal leading to a world of wonders, this number will allow you to access an infinite reserve of energy and wisdom, an inexhaustible source of inspiration and inner strength. One of the younger disciples, eager to know more, asked, "Master Cato, how can this number open the doors of prosperity and inner peace for us?" The monk, looking at everyone with a broad smile, invited them to write the number 888 on a sheet of white paper using golden or red ink, symbols of prosperity and luck. The sheet then had to be placed under the pillow before going to bed, like a hidden treasure waiting to be revealed. "While you sleep," Cato whispered in a firm voice, "your mind will open like a flower in the sun, and the energy of 888 will flow through you, purifying your spirit and preparing you to receive new gifts from the universe. It will be like a rain of blessings falling on the thirsty earth. Dreams will transform into prophecies, intuitions into flashes of genius, and synchronicities into invisible guides that will lead you to your highest destiny." The disciples nodded, and with their hearts full of hope and the paper with the number 888 clutched in their hands, they headed towards their rooms. The ritual that Cato had spoken about had affected them deeply, and they couldn't wait to carry it out with all the trust and faith they were capable of. In the quiet of the night, the disciples retreated to their rooms, lulled by the singing of the nocturnal birds and the rustling of the leaves. The paper with the number 888 rested under their pillows like a precious talisman that emanated a subtle and vibrant energy, and that night a very strange thing happened. Everyone dreamed of something, and the dreams became vivid and colorful, full of symbols and mysterious messages to interpret and use as maps for one's happiness. Upon awakening, the disciples felt transformed, as if a cool breeze had swept away the clouds of their minds. A sense of renewed energy and profound inner peace pervaded their being, like a wave of positivity that enveloped and intoxicated them. Over the next few days, surprising events began to manifest in their lives. New opportunities knocked on their doors, like flowers blooming at dawn. Unexpected encounters illuminated their path, like lighthouses in the night indicating the route. Fortunate coincidences led them towards the realization of their dearest dreams, like shooting stars that grant wishes. The disciples, amazed and happy at these events and this transformation, went to Cato to thank him and to ask to know more about the number 888. The wise monk, with a benevolent smile, invited them to sit around the fire, which crackled brightly like a beating heart that united them under the same roof. 888 is an angelic number, Cato explained, his voice vibrant with wisdom. It is a message sent by our spiritual guardians, a precious gift that infuses our lives with hope, love, and protection. Like a lighthouse in the night, this number guides us towards our highest destiny, illuminating the path ahead with its golden light. In Buddhism, the number 8 represents the Eightfold Path, or the path that leads to enlightenment. And the 888 is seen as a symbol of spiritual perfection and awakening, a symbol to be respected, and thanks to which one can find one's path in life. Master Cato asked the disciple, "Is it true that this number is also important for other religions?" The monk, smiling, replied that in the Christian tradition, the number 888 is associated with Jesus Christ, because in Greek, the name of Jesus has this same numerical value. And for this reason, it is seen as a symbol of redemption, salvation, and eternal life. Cato told stories of angels and spiritual guides who, through this issue, had offered their help to people in difficulty. He talked about how this number was often present in prophetic dreams, sudden intuitions, and surprising synchronicities, like an invisible thread that weaves the fabric of our destiny. The 888 is a symbol of balance and harmony, continued Kaito. Like a bridge that connects heaven and earth, this number helps us find the right balance between our spiritual aspirations and our material needs. It is an invitation to live a life full of meaning, in which external prosperity is accompanied by internal growth, giving us emotional balance and mental well-being. While the disciples listened with great interest, and their hearts were grateful to their mentor for the wisdom he imparted to them, the monk taught them how to meditate on the number 888. Thinking about this number, my dears, visualize how a golden light flows through your body and purifies your soul. And pay attention to the signs and synchronicities that manifest themselves in your life, recognizing them as messages from the universe that guide you towards your destiny. The disciples, with hearts full of gratitude, from that day continue to constantly practice the ritual of the number 888 and meditate on it. Their life turned into a journey of discovery and joy, where every day was a new chapter in a wonderful story. The numbers danced before their eyes like notes of celestial music that invited them to follow the rhythm of the universe. And their lives, despite the challenges and tests to which they were subjected, continued in the name of trust, faith, and perseverance. Challenges are like stones that help us build the path of our life, Kaito had told him during his lessons. Do not be afraid of falling, because it is only by falling that you learn to get up. The 888 is with you. You just need to open your heart to feel its energy. The most difficult test was for Akiko, a young disciple with a pure heart and a kind soul. A sudden fire destroyed her house, leaving her with nothing. Akiko was disheartened and cried desperately, believing that the universe had abandoned her to her fate. Kaito took her hand and led her to the top of a hill overlooking the valley. The sun was rising, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. Look, he said, pointing to the breathtaking view. The universe has not abandoned you. It has given you this test to make you emerge like a phoenix from the ashes. Remember that the 888 is with you. Have faith, and your inner strength will guide you despite adversity. Akiko watched the sun rise and felt a new strength rising within her. The monk's words gave her the hope and determination to rebuild her life. With the help of his fellow disciples and the community, he built a new house, more beautiful and more resistant than the previous one. After overcoming various tests and challenges, the disciples felt transformed. They had acquired a new awareness of themselves and their place in the world. One day, Kaito gathered them together again and asked them, "What have you learned from all this?" The disciples, moved and aware, recounted their experiences. They had learned that true wealth is not in material things, but in inner strength, love, and compassion. And that the number 888 is not a magical lucky charm, but a symbol of their unlimited potential. And again, that the key to a happy and fulfilling life is to trust your intuition and live in harmony with yourself and the universe. Master Kaito looked at them with pride and greeted them with these words, "Now you are ready to spread your light in the world. Use your wisdom to help others and to create a better world." Have you ever noticed the lines on the palm of your hand? They are there with you always, and they have a particular meaning. And if these lines, put together, form the letter M, the meaning is even more particular because it takes on a symbolic and spiritual implication. Maybe you've never noticed it because you don't believe in palmistry, yet having the M on the palm of your hand doesn't simply have to do with the theories of those who read palms. But what does it really mean to have the letter M on the palm of your hand? We will see it in this Zen story, rich as always in that Buddhist wisdom, capable of giving us emotional well-being and inner peace. So make yourself comfortable and stay until the end of the video, because what you will hear will leave you speechless. especially if you are among the rare people who can say they have this letter on their hand. But before continuing, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. This way you will stay updated when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. In a quiet Buddhist temple hidden in a charming Japanese forest, the elderly and wise Buddhist monk Ninsi gathered his disciples in the courtyard. "My children," Ninsi began in a calm, penetrating voice, "have you ever felt as if the universe were whispering to you ancient secrets about your destiny? And have you ever had the impression that your destiny, or at least that we call that, holds something unique and mysterious in store for you?" The disciples, captured by his eloquence, nodded, thinking of the sensations they had been pervaded by over time. Imagine entering a place and feeling your own energy being absorbed, as if the environment were making demands on your life force, he continued. Have you ever felt that shiver down your spine, that subtle sensation that leads you to change course, cancel plans, or follow others? Just like when, at the last moment, something happens that takes you elsewhere from the path you had chosen. The disciples exchanged questioning glances, but Ninsi continued without giving them time to answer or ask questions. His intent was to make them think, but also not to distract them from his words. "And then there is that strange and enigmatic symbol marked in your hands, the letter M. Those of you who own it know exactly what I'm talking about." One of the disciples raised his hand timidly. "Master, I have the letter M in the palm of my hand, and hearing about it for some time, I have always wondered with anxiety what it meant." Another disciple added, "I also have the M on the palm of my hand, and I was told that it would be a sign that we are destined to live less than others. But how are things really?" Ninsi smiled, a compassionate smile that seemed to light up the night itself. "Well, get ready to decipher the secrets that destiny has in store for you. Welcome to the mystery of the letter M." With seraphic grace, the monk told them the parable of a traveler whose deeds were guided by a star in the shape of an M that illuminated the sky. That star was a light that illuminated his path, and it was as if it also illuminated his very soul, leading him through the mystery that enveloped the world. "Imagine," said the old monk, "that you are like that traveler, with the letter M engraved in the palm of your hand. It is like having a secret map of the universe, an inner guide that pushes you towards your destination. But this map won't just take you to physical locations. It will lead you towards your true essence, towards your spiritual mission, towards gestures and events that will change your life." The disciples listened with extreme attention, eager to discover more about the meaning of that mysterious letter that fascinated and disturbed all those who carried it in the palm of their hand. Those who carry the letter M on the palm of their hand can manifest incredible inner strength, continued Ninsi. These individuals are often natural leaders, capable of inspiring and influencing those around them. Their energy is magnetic, and they attract others to them like the stars are attracted to the moon. Sometimes they are political leaders or business captains. Other times, simply good people who know how to illuminate the path of those around them. For example, particularly charismatic parents, teachers, doctors. And in the spiritual world, he added, the bearers of the letter M are true custodians of ancient secrets. They are in tune with the higher energies of the universe, capable of discerning hidden truths and guiding others towards the light. The disciples listened with growing amazement, feeling part of something bigger than themselves. Those who had the letter M printed on their hand began to feel good. The others began to feel respect for their companions. However, Ninsi warned, with the power of the letter M also comes great responsibility. You must use your gift with wisdom and compassion, or risk being overwhelmed by the dark forces that lurk in the shadows. As the fireplace crackled gently, Ninsi urged his disciples to cultivate their connection with the letter M, to explore its mysteries with humility and gratitude, and to feel privileged. And remember, the monk said in a solemn tone, that your letter M is unique, as is your path. There is no one else like you, and no one can carry out your spiritual mission except yourself. The disciples nodded, feeling a new determination burning in their hearts. With the guidance of the wise monk, they were ready to explore the mysteries of the letter M and discover their true purpose in the universe. And so, in the tranquil Buddhist temple, The light of knowledge burned brightly as the disciples embraced their destiny with hope and confidence, ready to embark on a journey of discovery and transformation under Ninsi's loving guidance. Majestically, Ninsi slowly stood up, his figure bathed in a divine light that seemed to emanate from his very essence. "Now that you have understood the meaning of the letter M on the palm of your hand," he said in a grave but hopeful voice, "it's time to explore its power and wisdom more deeply." The disciples approached him, eager to learn more. "Look," Ninsi said, pointing to the twinkling stars in the night sky. As the stars move harmoniously in the vast universe, so you too, with your letter M, are called to move harmoniously. Every decision you make is a universal dance between your free will and divine design. Every decision you make has to do not just with your reality, but with that of those you love and the universe itself. A disciple raised his hand. "Master, how can we be sure that we are following the right path? How can we make sure that this privilege is not in vain?" Ninsi smiled, the wisdom in her eyes shining like an eternal flame. "Listen to your heart," she said. "Your letter M is like an inner compass, always ready to show you the way. But remember," the master continued, "that your journey will not be without challenges and difficulties. Dark forces will try to divert you from your path, but with the light of your letter M as your guide, you will be able to overcome every obstacle and emerge stronger and wiser than before." Another disciple raised her hand. "Master, what if we don't have the letter M in the palm of our hand?" Ninsi paused for a moment, contemplating the question with deep thought. "Even if you don't physically possess the letter M, you can still access its wisdom and power," he finally replied. "True strength lies within you, regardless of external physical characteristics. Find your center, listen to your inner voice, and you will be guided towards your spiritual realization." The disciples looked at each other with a new sense of understanding and acceptance. The old monk's words were making them reflect, opening a world of emotions in their hearts and minds. Ninsi, looking at the starry sky and with a deep breath, added, "Whether you bear the letter M or not," he said solemnly, "always remember that you are an integral part of the great mosaic of the universe. Each individual, with their own uniqueness and beauty, contributes to the fabric of life. May your journey be illuminated by the light of wisdom and love, and may you find your true essence and inner growth." With these words, Ninsi closed his eyes and the disciples looked at him in silence, feeling the depth of his message vibrate in the surrounding air. Time seemed to slow down, as if the universe itself had stopped to listen to the words of the wise monk. When Ninsi reopened her eyes, her gaze was serene and radiant with hope. "And now," he said in a clear voice, "let us move forward, each of us, on our journey of spiritual discovery and realization. May the light of our letter M, whether visible or not, always guide us toward our true essence and our highest destiny." And so, in the quiet temple, the fire of knowledge continued to burn brightly as the disciples set out towards their destiny with renewed vigor and awareness. Have you ever thought that itching could have a spiritual meaning? And have you ever wondered if it could be more than just a physical annoyance? What if we told you that itching can hide a deep spiritual meaning that no one has ever told you? A message that your body, mind, and spirit are trying to communicate to you. A secret message that you would do well to listen to so that you can live at peace with yourself and with the world around you. Sounds amazing, right? But in the heart of Japan, in an ancient monastery, a wise monk named Tetsuo has dedicated his life to studying mysteries like this. And in this fascinating Zen story, we will take you on a journey to discover ancient wisdom and a new perspective on itching. You will discover how itching can be a sign of imbalance, an invitation to healing, an opportunity for spiritual growth. And if you stay until the end of the video, you will understand how to discover when itching is a simple physical annoyance and when, on the contrary, it is a spiritual messenger. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to be informed when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. The morning sun filtered through the leaves of the maples of the Zen monastery of Komi-ji, illuminating the wrinkled but serene face of the venerable monk Tetsuo. His disciples, sitting in a semicircle around him, eagerly awaited his words. Tetsuo was known for his enigmatic parables and profound teachings, capable of touching the heart and awakening the mind. That day, however, the topic seemed, only on the surface, unusually banal and earthly, itching. "My dear disciples," the monk began with an enigmatic smile, "today I want to talk to you about a phenomenon that all of us have experienced, but which few have truly understood: itching." A murmur of surprise spread among the disciples. The itching. What could it have to do with spirituality? "Master," asked shyly Sakura, a young raven-haired disciple, "isn't the itching just a physical annoyance, a symptom of some allergy or irritation?" Tetsuo nodded. "In many cases, Sakura, you are right, but itching can be much more than just a physical ailment. It can be a messenger, a signal that our body, mind, and spirit send to us to get our attention." A messenger. Taro, an older disciple with a thick white beard, asked curiously, "And what is this messenger telling us?" "This," Tetsuo replied, "is the question we must ask ourselves every time we feel the itch. What is our body telling us? What is our mind telling us? What is our spirit telling us?" Tetsuo scratched his chin thoughtfully, as if searching for the right words. "Often," he said, "we think of itching as a simple physical discomfort caused by an insect bite, an allergy, or dry skin. And in many cases, this is the truth. But there is another level of meaning, a spiritual meaning, that we often ignore." The disciples listened with growing attention, enraptured by their mentor's words. "Itching," Tetsuo continued, "can be a sign of imbalance, of disharmony. It can indicate that something is wrong in our life, that there is an area that requires our attention and healing. It can be an invitation to look inside ourselves, to explore our emotions, our thoughts, and our actions." Tetsuo paused, letting his words sink into the minds of his disciples. "I remember," he said, "a time when a persistent itch tormented me. I couldn't concentrate on meditation, nor find peace in my thoughts. Initially, I thought it was just an allergic reaction to the pollen, but the itching persisted even after taking the medicine." "What did you do, Master?" Sakura asked with concern and great curiosity. "I began to meditate on the itch itself," replied the Master. "I observed the sensations, I explored the emotions that came from it. And slowly, I began to understand that the itching was a reflection of a deep anxiety that I had repressed, an anxiety related to an important decision I had to make." "And then?" Taro asked. "What did you do to make this discovery turn into something positive?" "Once I recognized and addressed that anxiety, the itching went away," Tetsuo replied. "I realized that my body was sending me a signal, an invitation to take care of my mind and spirit." Then, as his eyes shone with wisdom and his smile spread peace, he added, "The itch, my dears, is a call to action. It is an invitation to take care of ourselves, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It is an invitation to find balance, harmony, and inner peace." The disciples were fascinated. Tetsuo's words had opened their eyes to a new way of seeing itching, a way that went far beyond simple physical discomfort. Thanks to the Master's explanations, they realized that throughout their lives, they had often felt itching without a specific physical reason. "But Master," Sakura asked, "how can we distinguish between a physical itch and a spiritual one?" "It's not always easy, Sakura," the monk replied, "but there are some clues we can look for. A spiritual itch tends to be persistent, unresponsive to physical treatments, and accompanied by other sensations or emotions, such as anxiety, frustration, or restlessness." Tetsuo continued, "Furthermore, a spiritual itch can manifest itself in specific areas of the body, each of which has a symbolic meaning. For example, an itchy hand can indicate a desire to take action, to change something in our life. An itchy foot can suggest a need for grounding, for stability, to find a place in the world where we can feel like ourselves. An itchy head can be a sign of mental confusion or thought overload." The disciples listened intently, taking mental notes. The lesson on itching became more and more interesting. Tetsuo, looking his disciples in the eyes, continued his lesson by telling about a new disciple who had once arrived at the monastery. He was a young man tormented by constant itching in his hands. He had consulted numerous doctors, but none had been able to find a cause or cure. Desperate, Hiroshi had decided to seek help in the monastery, hoping to find relief in Tetsuo's wisdom. The monk welcomed Hiroshi warmly and invited him to share his story. And the young man told of his hectic life, his stressful job, and his constant dissatisfaction. He had always looked for happiness externally, accumulating material goods and chasing ephemeral successes, but nothing seemed to quench his internal itch. Tetsuo listened carefully, nodding every now and then. When Hiroshi finished speaking, the monk said to him, "Hiroshi, your itchy hands are not just a physical ailment. It is a sign that your soul is restless, that there is an unexpressed desire burning inside you. Your hands, tools of action and creation, are asking you to express your true nature, to follow your passion." Hiroshi was confused, but "Master," he said, "I don't know what my true passion is. I have always done what others expected of me, what society considered right and appropriate." Tetsuo nodded and replied, "Your true passion, Hiroshi, is like a seed buried deep in the earth. It needs to be nurtured, cared for, and brought to light. Start exploring your interests, experimenting with new activities, following your curiosity. And above all, don't be afraid to make mistakes, to try and try again. Only in this way will you be able to discover what truly makes your soul vibrate." Hiroshi, inspired by Tetsuo's words, began to dedicate time every day to self-discovery. He experimented with painting, writing, music, dancing, cooking, gardening. Every activity opened new doors for him, showed him aspects of himself that he didn't know, and slowly the itchy hands began to subside. One day, while he was working in the monastery garden, he felt a deep and unexpected joy. His hands, immersed in the earth, seemed to dance among the plants, creating harmony and beauty. In that moment, Hiroshi understood that his true passion was nature, taking care of the earth and its creatures. And from that day on, he enthusiastically dedicated himself to gardening, transforming the monastery garden into an oasis of peace and abundance. The itchy hands had completely disappeared, replaced by a feeling of contentment and serenity. He had found his true calling, his purpose in life. The disciples reflected on the story they had just heard, understanding the profound message it contained. The itch, like life itself, was a journey, an opportunity for growth and transformation. From that day, Tetsuo's disciples began to see the itch with different eyes. It was no longer just an annoyance, but an opportunity, an invitation to explore one's inner world and find peace, balance, and healing. And so, itching, from a simple physical symptom, transformed into a powerful tool for spiritual growth, a path towards self-realization. In the following days, the disciples began to share their experiences with the itch. Sakura told how an itchy throat had pushed her to express an opinion she had long kept repressed, freeing her from an internal burden. Taro spoke of an itchy leg that had led him to embark on a pilgrimage, discovering new perspectives and renewed motivation in his spiritual practice. Every itch, every signal from the body, became an opportunity to deepen self-knowledge, to face one's fears and insecurities, to free oneself from old patterns and embrace change. And the Komyoji Monastery became a place of healing and transformation, where itching, from an annoying symptom, was transformed into a precious ally on the spiritual path. And Tetsuo, the wise monk, continued to guide his disciples with love and compassion, teaching them to listen to body language and find inner peace. Have you ever heard of the custom of putting coarse salt in the corners of the house? And do you know what exactly this ancient Buddhist practice passed down by monks and healers of enormous wisdom and experience is for? Thanks to the exciting Zen story you are about to hear, you will discover some of the greatest benefits of salt and the powerful symbolic and spiritual implications behind it. So, stay until the end and don't miss even a minute of this precious video, because the information you will receive will help you in your search for inner peace. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way you will be informed when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. In a quiet Buddhist monastery hidden in the Japanese mountains, the wise old monk Hiroshi told his devoted disciples stories of profound wisdom. Dear disciples, there is an ancient practice that may appear simple, but which has deep roots in Buddhist wisdom and important symbolic and spiritual implications. The monk continued, putting coarse salt in the corners of your house may seem like a trivial gesture, but you have to watch what happens when you do it. It's like sowing the seed of change and watching how it flourishes. A young monk raised an eyebrow skeptically. I used to doubt this practice, he admitted, but now I wonder what would happen if I did it. You should know that salt has been valued throughout the centuries, considered more than just a spice. It was traded like gold, and many believed it possessed magical properties. But why put salt in the corners of the house? Asked another young nun. Because salt isn't just about making food taste better, Hiroshi replied. It has a much deeper history. And so the monk embarked on a tale that unfolded through ancient cultures and civilizations, from the ancient Egypt of the pharaohs to Gandhi's India, from the regions of Normandy to Bavaria, from Judaism to Buddhism. He explained how salt had been considered a protective amulet, a symbol of unshakable life, a means of purification and harmonization. It is more than meets the eye, Hiroshi said. It is a bridge between us and the universe, a key to our connection with nature and with ourselves. His disciples absorbed the words of the wise monk, reflecting on the depth behind such a simple gesture as putting salt in the corners of one's home. And so they began to understand that even the smallest actions can lead to significant changes when intrinsically connected to wisdom and awareness. Every practice has a beginning, he began, and the practice of using salt as a tool of purification and transformation has its roots in the past, intertwined with the stories of monks, sages, and ordinary people. The disciples approached, eager to discover the secrets Hiroshi was about to reveal. In Buddhist tradition, he continued in a calm voice, salt is considered a protective amulet, capable of repelling negative energies and purifying the space it occupies. A young nun raised her hand, eager to know more, but how did this practice begin? She asked curiously. Hiroshi smiled, accepting the question. In times past, corners were believed to be places where stagnant energies could accumulate, creating an imbalance in the home environment. And by placing salt in these points, an energetic barrier was created that repelled negative influences. The disciples' eyes shone with interest as Hiroshi continued his narration. In Japan, for example, salt is used in Shinto purification rituals to eliminate spiritual impurities and protect against evil spirits. This practice has evolved over the centuries, but its profound meaning has remained intact and, even today, many elderly people cultivate it and pass it down with confidence to their heirs. As Hiroshi spoke, the disciples found themselves transported to a world of ancient beliefs, superstitions, and traditional wisdom, and they began to understand that the simple gesture of putting salt in the corners of the house was an act of protection and harmonization with the universe. But the power of this element is not limited only to protection, continued Hiroshi, his eyes bright with wisdom. Salt also has the ability to transform stagnant energies into positivity and create an environment that fosters personal growth and emotional well-being. The disciples listened carefully, fascinated by the words of the wise monk. For them, the concept of using salt as a tool for purification and transformation was becoming increasingly clear and meaningful. And now, said Hiroshi, as the fire crackled softly before them, I will show you a simple yet powerful method for using salt to purify and harmonize your home environment. With an air of expectation, the disciples gathered even closer, ready to learn the master's secrets. because they knew that even though salt might seem like a common thing, its power was profound and transformative. And Hiroshi was ready to lead them on a journey of discovery through the ancient practices involving this humble yet powerful element. First of all, continued the elderly monk, we must understand the role of salt in our daily lives and its connection to the energies that surround us. Salt has been precious throughout the ages, Hiroshi continued, not only for its culinary value, but also for its physical and symbolic properties. It was considered a divine gift, a symbol of purification and protection against dark forces. As he spoke, he showcased a variety of salts collected from around the world, from raw sea salt to pink Himalayan salt crystals. Each type of salt carries with it a unique vibration, he explained. And learning to use salt correctly means being aware of this diversity and how it can affect our environment and our inner energy. The disciples contemplated the various types of salt with curiosity, aware of their potential significance beyond the simple flavor they added to meals. But how can we fully harness the power of salt in our lives? Asked one of the monks, eager to apply what he was learning. You asked an important question, Hiroshi replied with a smile. The key is in intention and mindful practice. I will show you a method you can use to purify and protect your home environment. The moon is a powerful energy catalyst, Hiroshi explained, and when salt is exposed to its light, it becomes charged with purifying and harmonizing energy. The disciples watched in awe as the salt absorbed the silvery light of the moon, exuding an aura of tranquility and power. This salt, said Hiroshi, can be used to create a circle of protection around your home or to purify interior spaces. With an elegant gesture, he took a pinch of salt from the bowl and scattered it around the perimeter of the monastery courtyard, tracing an invisible circle of protection. This circle, he explained, will create an energetic barrier that will repel negative influences and promote peace and harmony within these boundaries. The disciples watched reverently as Hiroshi completed the circle of salt, feeling the presence of a protective energy surrounding the monastery. It was as if the place itself had been enveloped in a loving and powerful embrace. But the power of salt is not just limited to external protection, Hiroshi continued. It can also be used to purify and harmonize internal spaces, creating an environment that promotes spiritual growth and well-being. With this, he led the disciples inside the monastery, where he guided them through a series of practices involving salt to purify and harmonize the internal spaces. Each gesture was performed with awareness and intention as the disciples learned to connect with the power of salt and use it to transform the energies around them. Have you ever noticed how humidity can accumulate on the walls of your home, especially in certain areas? Hiroshi asked, scanning the expressions of all the people present. Everyone nodded in agreement, recalling times when they had observed this phenomenon in their homes. Placing salt in those spots can be extremely helpful, Hiroshi continued. Salt, in fact, has the ability to absorb humidity from the surrounding air, thus helping to prevent the formation of mold and safeguard our health. But that's not all, he said with a smile that suggested a new revelation. Salt can also be an ally in the fight against bad odors in domestic environments. Placing small bowls of salt in strategic locations around the home, such as the kitchen or bathroom, can help absorb and neutralize bad odors, Hiroshi explained. In this way, salt acts as a natural air purifier, keeping rooms fresh and pleasant. And these two important benefits of salt, my dears, although they are not directly linked to spirituality, actually have a strong connection with our spiritual path. Because, just as it absorbs humidity and bad smells, salt also absorbs energies, emotions, and evil presences. Therefore, it has a very powerful symbolic and spiritual role, and each of us should take this into account. Have you ever heard of the enormous power of laurel for our physical and mental health? Do you have any idea of how, if used as we will see in this video, laurel can have a positive influence on many diseases and on your emotional balance? In this video, thanks to a Zen story full of Buddhist wisdom, you will discover that if you put a bay leaf under your feet, you will no longer need medicines and you will live more peacefully. So, make yourself comfortable and stay until the end of the video. In this way, you will discover how such a simple ritual can radically change your life. By practicing it, in fact, you will be able to awaken your vital energy, relieve pain, and find inner peace. But before you see all this, if you are new to the channel, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. The stone path that led to the Zen temple of Komyoji, nestled among the green hills of Kyoto, was illuminated by the first rays of the sun. A group of pilgrims who had come from every corner of Japan were traveling along it to go to the monastery to listen to their mentor. And Kaido, known for his profound wisdom and ability to guide people to inner peace and spiritual growth, was eagerly awaiting them. Arriving at the temple, the pilgrims refreshed themselves and then sat in the garden where they would listen to the words of the master. With a slow and measured step, Kaido emerged from the temple door, his face marked by time but illuminated by a serene smile. His eyes, illuminated by timeless wisdom, rested on the pilgrims, transmitting a sense of calm. He wore a simple saffron-colored robe, a symbol of his renunciation of material goods and his dedication to the search for truth. "Welcome, dear friends," Kaido began in a warm, enveloping voice. "I am pleased to see you here, ready to embark on a journey of healing, personal growth, and spiritual discovery." The pilgrims approached, eager to listen to the words of the wise monk. Kaido sat down on a smooth rock, inviting them to do the same, forming a circle around him. The atmosphere was filled with expectation and reverence. The wind blew lightly through the leaves of the trees, carrying with it the scent of the lotus flowers that bloomed in the nearby pond. "Today," said the monk, "I will tell you about an ancient ritual passed down from generation to generation, which has the power to bring relief to the body and soul, promoting inner growth and spiritual awakening." A murmur of curiosity spread among the pilgrims. Kaido smiled, knowing he had caught their attention. "This is a simple but powerful ritual," he continued, "requiring only a bay leaf and a pair of socks." Kaido bent down and picked a bay leaf from a nearby bush. He held it in his hands, showing it to the pilgrims. The leaf gave off an intense and aromatic scent, which seemed to fill the air with positive energy. The monk explained that the laurel was venerated by the ancient Greeks and Romans, who considered it a symbol of victory, wisdom, and divine protection. Its leaves were used to create crowns for victorious athletes, to adorn statues of the gods, and to prepare healing infusions and ointments. "Placing a bay leaf under your feet, in contact with the skin thanks to socks," said Kaido, "is a simple but effective way to take advantage of its benefits and embark on a spiritual journey towards mental well-being and emotional balance." The pilgrims listened attentively as Kaido listed the 7 main benefits of this ritual, deepening each point with examples and detailed explanations. "Laurel, placed in contact with the feet, relieves physical and mental pain," said the monk, speaking of the first important benefit of this ritual. "The eugenol present in laurel acts as a powerful natural anti-inflammatory, relieving joint, muscle, and rheumatic pain. Furthermore, contact with the earth through the bay leaf helps to release accumulated tensions, promoting relaxation and stress reduction. Think, my dears, that this simple gesture can bring relief not only to the body, but also to the mind, helping us to let go of worries and find inner peace." The second benefit Cato talked about is related to the reduction of inflammation and healing processes. The anti-inflammatory properties of bay leaf, in fact, help reduce chronic inflammation, which is the basis of many diseases. This ritual promotes healing of the body and mind, stimulating the immune system and promoting general well-being. Laurel acts as a natural balm, soothing wounds and speeding up the healing process. Laurel, Cato continued, improves circulation and vital energy. It stimulates blood circulation, promoting tissue oxygenation and the removal of toxins. And this improves vital energy, vitality, and physical resistance. Additionally, laurel is associated with the heart chakra, the energy center of love and compassion, and its use can help open and balance this chakra, promoting feelings of love, gratitude, and connection with others. While the pilgrims listened with great interest to their mentor's words, Cato introduced another important aspect. Laurel, he said, relaxes the muscles and the mind. Its aroma, in fact, has a relaxing effect on the muscles, relieving tension and contractures. Furthermore, the ritual itself, with its simplicity and contact with nature, promotes mental relaxation, helping to let go of negative thoughts and find inner peace. Imagine walking barefoot on a green lawn, feeling the cool grass under your feet and the warm sun on your face. This is the kind of feeling that the laurel ritual can evoke, bringing us into a state of calm and serenity. Still on the subject of calm, the monk underlined how laurel had the power to calm the mind and promote meditation. Laurel has calming and relaxing properties, which help reduce stress, anxiety, and anger, he said. This ritual creates an environment conducive to meditation, allowing you to reach a state of calm and awareness. Laurel is also associated with the third eye, the energy center of intuition and inner vision, and its use can help develop these abilities, opening us to new perspectives and insights. Another great benefit of putting laurel under your feet is that it promotes sleep and lucid dreaming, Cato continued. The aroma of laurel promotes relaxation and induces sleep, improving the quality of night's rest. Additionally, some people have reported experiencing more vivid and meaningful dreams after practicing this ritual. According to the Zen tradition, dreams can be a source of insights and spiritual messages, helping us to better understand ourselves and our life path. But this ritual also has powerful spiritual implications. In fact, it purifies energy and promotes spiritual growth. Laurel is considered a purifying plant, capable of absorbing negative energies and rebalancing the body's energy field, added Cato. This ritual helps to free oneself from energetic blockages, promoting spiritual growth, opening the heart and connecting with one's higher self. Through this ritual, we can let go of the past, forgive ourselves and others, and open ourselves to new possibilities for growth and transformation. One of the pilgrims, named Hiroshi, raised his hand and asked, "Master Cato, how can such a simple gesture have such a profound impact on our lives?" Cato smiled and replied, "Hiroshi, simplicity is the key to wisdom. We often look for complex solutions to our problems, when in reality, the deepest answers are found in the little things, in the daily gestures that connect us with nature and with ourselves." The laurel ritual reminds us that true healing and spiritual growth do not require great effort or complicated practices, but rather an opening of the heart and a deep connection with nature and our true essence. Another pilgrim asked, "Master Cato, can this ritual help me find my path in life?" Cato replied, "Aiko, the spiritual path is a journey of self-discovery. This ritual can help you create an inner space of calm and clarity, where you can listen to your inner voice and find the answers you seek. Through your connection with the earth and the energy of laurel, you can access your inner wisdom and discover your true calling." Cato continued his speech with an invitation. Try this ritual for 15 days and observe the changes in your body, mind, and spirit. Be open to experience without expectations, and let the wisdom of the laurel guide you to a healthier, happier, and more conscious life. And remember that personal growth is an ongoing process, and every step we take toward our true nature is a step toward happiness and fulfillment. The pilgrims thanked Kaido for his teachings and took their leave, taking with them a bay leaf and renewed spiritual motivation. The sun, now high in the sky, illuminated their path as they walked away from the temple, ready to embark on a new chapter in their lives, full of personal growth, wisdom, and inner peace. The laurel ritual had ignited in them a spark of hope and faith in the power of nature and their own ability to heal. As the pilgrims dispersed along the mountain paths, Kaido remained seated on the rock, observing them with a benevolent gaze. He knew that their journey had only just begun, and that the laurel ritual was only a small step towards realizing their full potential. But he had faith that, with patience and perseverance, they would reach their goal. And you, are you ready to embark on this journey? If the answer is yes, we invite you to try the laurel ritual for 15 days. Place a bay leaf under your feet in contact with your skin thanks to your socks before going to sleep. Let the laurel energy permeate you as you sleep, and observe the changes that occur in your body, mind, and spirit. Now, as promised, here is the secret that can change your life. The true magic of the laurel ritual lies not only in the leaf itself, but in the intention you put into practicing it. If you approach this ritual with an open heart and a receptive mind, you will be able to access its full transformative power. So take a bay leaf, place it under your feet, and let its wisdom guide you. Trust the process and be open to the infinite possibilities that life offers you. Your journey to inner peace, personal growth, and spiritual awakening has just begun. Have you ever seen a lizard inside your house? A small reptile that moves silently in the shadows, disappearing in the blink of an eye? And has it ever happened that this lizard came to visit you several times, as if it wanted to communicate something to you? Maybe you thought it was just a coincidence, a simple twist of fate. But what if I told you that the lizard's presence in your home has a much deeper meaning? That this little being is a spiritual messenger, bearer of precious teachings for your life. In this video, thanks to a Zen story full of Buddhist wisdom, we will investigate the profound spiritual meaning of the lizard in your home. We will explore ancient Buddhist traditions, listen to the words of a venerable monk, and discover 7 fundamental teachings that the lizard offers us. And if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll discover a secret that could forever change your perspective on life and personal growth. A secret that will allow you to unlock your full potential and live a richer, more meaningful life. But before continuing, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to be informed when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. A winding path adorned with stone lanterns carved with ancient Buddhist symbols wound through a bamboo forest, where the sun filtered through the leaves, creating a magical play of light and shadow. A group of pilgrims, their faces marked by spiritual quest and desire for knowledge, walked the path with reverence, heading to the heart of the Zen monastery. The air was filled with the heady scent of lotus flowers blooming in a crystalline pool, their corollas as delicate as porcelain. The melodious sound of the wind among the bamboos blended with the singing of birds and the gurgling of a stream flowing nearby, creating a symphony of peace and serenity. Arriving in the presence of the venerable monk Nakiri, the pilgrims bowed deeply, their hands clasped as a sign of respect. Nakiri, an elderly man with eyes that seemed to have peered into the depths of existence, welcomed them with a warm smile and invited them to sit in a circle in the Zen garden. There, surrounded by the beauty of nature, the pilgrims felt surrounded by an aura of tranquility and harmony. Among the pilgrims, A young woman whose spirit burned with an insatiable thirst for knowledge stepped forward. His eyes, dark and deep as the night, shone with curiosity and hope. Master Nakiri, he began in a soft but firm voice, I have long wondered what the spiritual meaning of the lizard is. I have heard that his presence in our homes carries an important message, but I have not been able to decipher it. Could you enlighten me with your wisdom? Nakiri nodded slowly, her eyes shining with age-old wisdom. The lizard, he began in a deep, calm voice, is a symbol of transformation and renewal. When this little being enters our lives, it is a sign that we are ready for a change, an inner evolution. The pilgrims listened attentively, their minds open and receptive like sponges ready to absorb knowledge. The lizard, continued Nakiri, offers us 7 precious lessons for our lives. The first teaching is related to change and transformation, said the monk. Just as the lizard sheds its skin, letting go of the old to make room for the new, we too are called to constantly renew ourselves. Life is a continuous flow of change, and resisting it only creates suffering. Embracing change allows us to evolve, grow, and become the best version of ourselves. Another pilgrim named Hiroshi chimed in, Master, sometimes change is scary. How can we overcome this fear? Nakiri smiled benevolently. Fear is natural, Hiroshi. But remember that the lizard does not hesitate to let go of its old skin, even if it does not know what it will find on the other side. Trust the transformation process, even when it seems uncertain. Change is the only constant in life, and embracing it opens us to infinite possibilities. The lizard is a teacher of adaptability and resilience, continued the monk, introducing the second teaching. It changes color to camouflage itself, moves with agility on different terrains, and survives even in difficult conditions. We too must learn to be flexible and resilient, to adapt to circumstances and find creative solutions to problems. Adaptability and resilience allow us to overcome adversity and emerge stronger. A young pilgrim named Hana asked, Master, how can we develop resilience? Nakiri replied, Resilience is cultivated through acceptance of what we cannot change and trust in our ability to face challenges. Remember, Hana, that even the smallest lizard can survive a storm. While the disciples listened with increasing attention to the words of their mentor, Nakiri continued with the next teaching. In many cultures, the lizard is considered a symbol of protection and good luck, he said. His presence in our homes reminds us that we are protected and guided on our path. It invites us to trust in the universe and believe that we are always safe, even when things seem difficult. An elderly pilgrim asked, Master, how can we connect with this protective force? Nakiri, smiling, replied, The connection with the protective force occurs through the practice of meditation, prayer, and gratitude. When we open our hearts to gratitude, we tune into the positive energies of the universe and feel protected and guided. The lizard is also a master of patience and observation, continued the monk. Have you ever noticed how he waits immobile for the right moment to capture his prey, carefully observing the surrounding environment? We too, like the lizard, must cultivate patience and carefully observe our lives. Patience allows us to see things clearly, make wise decisions, and act at the right time. Observation helps us better understand ourselves and the world around us. Akiko asked, Master, how can we learn to observe without judgment? Nakiri replied, Observation without judgment is a practice that requires time and dedication. Start by observing your breathing, then your thoughts and emotions. Be present to what happens inside and outside of you, without judging or trying to change anything. Over time, you will learn to observe life with greater clarity and compassion. After making sure that all the pilgrims were listening, Nakiri went on to talk about present moment awareness. The lizard lives in the present moment, teaching us to do the same and to appreciate every moment of our lives. He said, "Too often we get lost in thoughts of the past or worries about the future, forgetting to live in the present." The lizard reminds us to be present, to enjoy every moment, and to appreciate the beauty that surrounds us. Hiroshi asked, "Master, how can we live in the present moment when our mind is so full of thoughts?" The practice of mindfulness helps us bring our attention to the present moment, replied the monk. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath, body sensations, or sounds around you. And with constant practice, focusing on your breathing, you will learn to live in the here and now. Another important thing that the presence of the lizard in our home reminds us is to be grateful for life and all its wonders. Remember that gratitude is a key to happiness. When we are grateful for what we have, we attract more abundance into our lives. The lizard invites us to practice gratitude every day, to recognize the blessings we have received, and to give thanks for them. Hana asked, "Master, how can we cultivate gratitude in our daily lives?" Nakiri smiled and thanked for the question. Start each day by writing 3 things you are grateful for. It could be something as simple as a smile, a hot meal, or a roof over your head. Over time, gratitude will become a natural habit, and your life will be filled with joy and abundance. Continuing with his lesson, the monk reminded everyone that the lizard, with its graceful movements, teaches us the importance of balance and harmony in life. Just as the lizard moves with lightness and precision, we too must find the balance between work and rest, between action and contemplation, between giving and receiving. Inner harmony allows us to live a peaceful and fulfilling life, a life in which finding inner peace is no longer so difficult. A pilgrim, thinking of the hectic life that most of us are forced into, asked, "Master, how can we find balance in our daily lives?" Nakiri replied, "Balance is found through awareness and moderation. Listen to your body and your mind, learn to recognize your limits, and take care of yourself. Make time for rest, meditation, and activities that bring you joy. Remember that balance is a delicate dance, but with practice you can learn to dance it with grace and lightness." The pilgrims bowed again, grateful for the master's teachings. They knew that after these lessons, they would carry with them the wisdom they had received. And they knew that the lizard would forever be a symbol of transformation, adaptability, protection, patience, awareness, gratitude, balance, and joy. A symbol that would accompany them on their journey towards realizing their full potential. These 7 teachings, Nakiri continued with a bright smile, show us how the lizard can be a precious guide on our spiritual path. Let us learn from this little being to live a life full of meaning, joy, and gratitude. He paused, letting his words ring in the air. Then, with a twinkle in his eye, he revealed the promised secret. But there is an 8th teaching, a secret that the lizard whispers only to those who are ready to listen. The lizard reminds us that we are all connected, part of a single universal fabric. Every living being, large or small, has a role to play in the grand scheme of life. When we honor this connection, when we treat every creature with respect and compassion, we open the doors to profound healing and transformation, not only for ourselves, but for the entire planet. The pilgrims looked at each other, moved by the master's revelation. They had found the secret they sought, a secret that would forever change their perspective on life and their connection to the natural world.